Good evening and welcome to this week's national news segment brought to you by L28 News. I'm your host Jacobo Garrido, and tonight we dive into three major stories shaping our nation's future. We begin covering major economic developments in California, a controversial immigration proposal from President Donald Trump, and a dramatic clash between Trump and Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky. Let's dive into this week's episode. All that and more when we return. Stay with us. L28 National News starts now. California Governor Gavin Newsom has announced a sweeping economic plan aimed at driving job growth, strengthening local economies, and accelerating wildfire recovery efforts. The California Jobs First economic blueprint is set to inject $245 million into key economic development projects across the state, focusing on workforce training, infrastructure improvements, and regional business growth. Newsom, speaking from Los Angeles, emphasized that the plan prioritizes job creation while ensuring long-term economic resilience. And quote, California's economy is the fifth largest in the world, but we must continue investing in our people and industries to remain competitive. This plan is about making sure every region of our state has the resources to thrive. One of the major focuses of the initiative is supporting communities hit hardest by natural disasters, including Los Angeles County's wildfire recovery efforts. The state plans to allocate additional funding to businesses and residents struggling to rebuild after the devastating blazes that have scorched parts of Southern California last year. While the plan has been met with optimism, some critics question whether the funding will be enough to address long-term economic disparities, particularly in underserved areas. Others argue that the program should include stronger incentives for small businesses. Nevertheless, state officials believe the investment is a step in the right direction towards stabilizing California's economy and ensuring equitable growth. President Donald Trump is once again making headlines with a new immigration proposal, this time aimed at the world's wealthiest immigrant investors, dubbed the Trump Gold Card. The program would offer a fast-track pathway to U.S. citizenship for foreign nationals willing to invest at least $5 million into the American economy. According to Trump's campaign, the initiative is designed to attract foreign capital, create jobs, and stimulate economic growth, specifically in key industries such as real estate, manufacturing, and technology. However, the plan has sparked intense backlash from immigration advocates who argue that it essentially puts a price tag on American citizenship, favoring the ultra-wealthy over those who come to the U.S. seeking opportunity through traditional legal channels. Critics point out that the program could potentially allow foreign oligarchies and elites to buy their way into the country, raising concerns about national security and economic inequality. As Trump's polarizing policies and ideas continue to dominate the headlines, the Gold Card proposal is likely to be a hot-button issue for the foreseeable future, especially as immigration remains a deeply polarizing topic among American voters. In a stunning diplomatic clash, President Donald Trump and Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky had a fiery confrontation in front of the American media on Thursday, February 27th, leading Trump to abruptly announce an indefinite suspension of U.S. military aid to Ukraine. The dispute erupted during a tense Oval Office meeting where Trump accused Zelensky of failing to negotiate a peace deal with Russia. Sources close to the discussion say Trump pressed the Ukrainian leader to seek a truce with Vladimir Putin, arguing that prolonged military resistance was a waste of American resources. Zelensky, however, reportedly pushed back forcefully, arguing that Ukraine's sovereignty and security could not be compromised. He emphasized that continued U.S. military support was crucial for Ukraine's survival against Russian aggression. Following the confrontation, Trump took to social media to declare the U.S. cannot keep sending billions of dollars to Ukraine while Americans struggle at home. It's time for Zelensky to put his country first and make a deal. The decision to pause aid has been met with strong criticism from lawmakers on both sides of the aisle, with many arguing that cutting support could embolden Russia and weaken Ukraine's defenses. Democratic leaders called the move reckless, while some Republican allies question whether Trump's stance signals a shift in U.S. foreign policy away from supporting its allies. For Ukraine, the suspension of military aid could have devastating consequences as it continues to rely on Western assistance to repel Russian forces. Meanwhile, international leaders are closely watching how this situation unfolds, as it could have far-reaching implications for global security and the future of U.S.-Ukraine relations. That wraps up tonight's national news segment here on L28 News. From Governor Newsom's economic initiative aiming to reshape California's financial future, Trump's gold card proposal sparking fierce immigration debates, and his clash with President Zelensky raising new questions about America's role in global conflicts, we'll continue to keep you updated on these stories and more as they unfold. I'm Jacobo Garrido, and on behalf of the entire L28 team, thank you for tuning in, stay safe, and good night. If you want to stay informed on the latest news impacting our country, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel by scanning the QR code below.